Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the foundational concepts of MLOps. Specifically, we're unpacking part 1 of the MLOps Strategic Guide for IT Professionals. Now, this is a comprehensive 10-part tutorial put together by Virtualization Options LLC, which is a fantastic technology research and advisory group based out of Colorado. If you're in IT management or operations, this explainer is built entirely for you. We're going to give you a no-nonsense look at how to actually implement MLOps in your environment, focusing strictly on the core concepts laid out in Chapter 1 of their guide. So let's just get right into it.
We have to kick things off with a pretty startling reality. Get this, 87% of machine learning models failed to ever reach production. Why? Mostly because of operational and tooling gaps. You can have literally the most brilliant machine learning model developed in a lab, but without the right systems and culture in place, it just never sees the light of day. It is a massive roadblock for enterprise AI right now. So, to solve this massive failure rate, we're going to map out an actionable journey today, covering these 6 structural pillars. Why MLOps matters, defining the 3 pillars, automating the ML lifecycle, infrastructure and cloud platforms, governance and team structures, and finally, your strategic MLOps roadmap. All right, Section 1, why MLOps matters. We first need to look at the root of the problem and understand why our traditional development approaches fall so short in the machine learning space. The crucial difference here really lies in what exactly you're managing. Think about it. Traditional DevOps focuses strictly on managing code, but in the AI world, that just doesn't cut it. MLOps requires managing this complex triad: code, data, and models. All 3 of these pieces have to be treated as first-class, versioned artifacts, and they need to be tested and deployed with the exact same rigor. So, if we look at the formal definition, MLOps, or machine learning operations, is all about applying those tried-and-true DevOps principles like automation, CI/CD, and continuous monitoring to the full machine learning lifecycle. It's essentially the foundational discipline that builds a reliable, sturdy bridge between isolated, sandbox ML research and resilient, automated production systems. Moving right along to Section 2, defining the 3 pillars. How do we actually construct this reliable bridge in a real corporate environment? Well, you need tight alignment across 3 critical areas. First up, people. You absolutely have to establish shared ownership across your data scientists, your ML engineers, and your ops teams. No more silos. Second is processes. You need standardized workflows for training, evaluation, and deployment. And finally, platforms. You've got to put the right tooling and infrastructure in place to actually enforce these best practices at an enterprise scale. What's really fascinating here is how organizations actually mature through these phases. You start at phase 1, which is level 0, completely manual, totally notebook-driven. Honestly, this is where most enterprises currently sit. Then you progress to level 1, where you start introducing automated training pipelines. And finally, the holy grail, level 2, full CI/CD for ML. This is where pipeline changes trigger automated retraining and deployment without any human intervention. And the payoff is huge. Organizations that hit this mature level deploy their models up to 6 times faster. Okay, Section 3, automating the ML lifecycle. What is actually required to push your organization up through those maturity phases? These are your key automation wins right here. First, you absolutely need automated data validation. By using tools like Great Expectations, you enforce schema contracts and block corrupt data right at the front gate. Next is hyperparameter tuning, which runs parallel experiments to find those optimal configurations, saving you from endless manual trial and error. And crucially, automated evaluation gates. This ensures that underperforming, degraded models never, ever see the light of day in your production environment. Now, when you're dealing with features, setting up a dual storage architecture is absolutely essential. On one side, you have your offline store, think S3 or BigQuery. This is optimized for heavy batch training on massive historical datasets. On the other side, you have your online store, like Redis or DynamoDB. This one is built for ultra-low latency, sub-millisecond retrieval during real-time inference. The real beauty of this setup is that both stores are served from a single feature definition that completely eliminates architectural skew, meaning you won't run into that nightmare scenario where your data looks one way in training, but completely different in production. Which brings us to Section 4, infrastructure and cloud platforms. The absolute bedrock of your MLOps practice relies on choosing the right cloud strategy. When we compare the managed pipeline services of the top hyperscalers, some pretty distinct differences emerge. AWS offers SageMaker pipelines, which is great for its built-in logging and S3 integration.
Azure provides Azure ML pipelines. These are incredibly DevOps native and super hybrid friendly. Then Google offers Vertex AI pipelines, which is based on Kubeflow and tightly integrated with BigQuery. And, of course, if you have strict data residency requirements, you can always run Kubeflow directly on Kubernetes for a fully vendor-neutral multi-cloud approach. The major takeaway here is that you must treat your ML infrastructure with the exact same rigor as your standard application infrastructure. Use infrastructure as code, like Terraform or Pulumi, for all your provisioning. Be smart about your compute strategy. Use GPUs for heavy deep learning and stick to CPUs for classical ML. And hey, by smartly utilizing spot or preemptible instances, you can literally slash your compute costs by up to 70%. That's a massive win for any IT budget. Let's move to Section 5, Governance and Team Structures. Because at the end of the day, none of this shiny new infrastructure matters if it isn't secure and managed correctly. You absolutely have to lock down your training environments with stringent security controls. No exceptions. This means enforcing least privilege IAM access on all your training data and endpoints. You need AES 256 encryption at rest and TLS in transit. You also need VPC endpoints to strictly prevent data exfiltration right alongside comprehensive audit logging with long-term retention to ensure you're fully compliant with regulatory audits. Now, when it comes to structuring your teams to manage all this, it's always a bit of a trade-off. Centralized teams offer fantastic governance, but they can easily become detached from the actual business products. Embedded teams iterate super fast, but you run a high risk of inconsistency across the company. Because of this, the hybrid team model is highly recommended. You have a central platform team that provides the standard tooling, but your embedded practitioners apply those tools directly within the individual product teams. It's really the best of both worlds. And if you're in IT management, these are the exact KPIs you need to be tracking. This is how you justify your MLOps investments and measure your operational health. You want to strive for that 6x faster deployment speed. And you need to relentlessly track your MTDD, that's mean time to detect model degradation, and your MTTR, your mean time to recover from a production incident. All right, Section 6, your strategic MLOps roadmap. Let's tie all this theory together into a pragmatic, step-by-step path forward for your team. You're going to start with Step 1 by auditing your current manual handoffs to establish a documented baseline. Be honest about where you are. In Step 2, define a realistic target state for the next 12 to 18 months. Align this with your current reality, rather than trying to over-engineer some aspirational future state right out of the gate. Then, in Step 3, you make that crucial build versus buy platform decision between managed cloud services or open source stacks. Moving into the second half of the roadmap, Step 4 is a real game changer. Do not skip this. Pilot with a high-value use case. You must validate your tooling choices end-to-end with a single model before you even think about trying to scale it enterprise-wide. Once that's proven, Step 5 is to codify that pilot into standard templates and roll them out. And finally, Step 6, measure and iterate. Track those essential KPIs we just talked about every quarter to justify your continued investment. Everything we've covered in this explainer has been a direct distillation of Chapter 1 from the Strategic Advisory Guide published by Virtualization Options LLC. They are a phenomenal resource for IT professionals trying to navigate this incredibly fast-moving space. As we wrap up today, I want you to look at your current systems and ask yourself this one final question. Is our infrastructure ready for a self-healing ML architecture? Because ultimately, a self-healing state where data drift automatically triggers retraining, evaluation, and safe deployment, that is the long-term vision every organization should be designing toward. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope this explainer gives you a clear, actionable path forward for your own MLOps journey.